Hi everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is Cinco de Mayo, and this is my weekly shop update. So it's a pretty exciting week for me. This Saturday I spent the day milling logs. We had our buddy Bruce come in with his portable sawmill, and we milled up a lot of the logs that we had. We started the day with probably, 30 or 40 logs sitting there, and by the end of the day we had about, 10 or 15 left. So we didn't quite get through them all, but we got through the big ones, and I'll tell you, pulling those boards off the mill and just sitting there dreaming about what you could possibly make with these things is just so much fun. So you tell me, what would you make with some ash or white oak boards that were, 15, 16, 17 inches wide? I have no idea, but I really want them all. I tell you, I'm a sucker for wide boards. Anyway, some of the logs didn't quite fit on the mill, so we had to trim them down. The throat on that mill was 28 inches, and we had a few logs that were about 30-something inches wide. That was more or less for when we had logs with a crotch in it that we wanted to preserve. In that case, we would cut part of the sides off so that it would fit through the throat of the mill and mill it up that way. But by the end of the day, we got about, maybe 1,500 board feet of lumber milled up. And again, we still have more logs to go through. So that's probably the most rewarding part about logging or going out into the woods and finding your materials that way, is you get to see that whole process of tree to log to on the mill and then to lumber and then to drying it as well. But you really get that appreciation of all that work that goes into just a piece of wood. You know, it doesn't look like much, but a lot of work went into taking a tree and turning it into this, something that we as woodworkers can use. So that was a lot of fun. I encourage you all, if you have the opportunity, to go out there and spend the day working at a sawmill. It's a heck of a lot of work as far as labor goes, but it's very rewarding, and you'll sleep really well that night. Okay, on to the actual shop updates. Alright, over on the secretary this week, you can see I finished up the rest of the cubbyhole dividers over here. I haven't cut the valances yet. I found out that the plans don't actually come with the templates for the valances, so I have to figure out how I'm going to draw those and get a template for those. Then I'll cut and install those. But these are all set up and ready to be glued in, which I'll probably do this week. Before I install the valances, I do have to make sure that I glue in at least this horizontal divider and then all of the vertical dividers. So make sure that they're in the right spot before I glue in all the valances. The other thing I worked on this week was the prospect box. I got that dovetailed together right here. You can see how it's a little offset so that the door can fit in here, and then the back boards can fit in the back here. I just got this rough or dry fit right now, and it does not fit in the opening, which is what I wanted. I want to reduce this down in size once it's glued up so I can make sure I have a nice fit. The other thing with the prospect box is the plans in the book don't have anything in the box. It's just this open space, which I don't know if that's really all that useful or how I feel about that, I guess. So I'm kind of tossing up some ideas, possibly adding a bank of drawers in here, or maybe some kind of divider, something else in here, so it's not just this open space. The only thing to consider with that is if I add drawers in here, I have to make sure that it clears the barrels of the hinges. So what I'm going to have to end up doing if I do add drawers is I'm going to have some kind of offset here. So either another piece in here that brings the drawer over a little bit so that when it comes in and out, it doesn't hit the hinges. That's really the only sort of caveat about adding drawers in here. But other than that, I think it might be a nice touch to have a few more drawers. I certainly like that idea better than just having this open box. So the other thing this week is I finished up the shed doors. I got the finish applied, and I got them all glued up and all ready to go. I have them outside. They're actually in the shed right now. I'm still working on the hardware for the rails. I think they turned out really well. They look really great against the shed, at least with the colors and the architecture there. And I think it'll look really nice from the street and add a little bit of added touch to our home. Kind of give the passerby the impression that a craftsman lives here. Well, at least that's what I hope they think. So the other thing I'm working on is a tea chest. A friend of mine commissioned me to build a chest for him, for his girlfriend, for her birthday. Basically just going to be a small box that can hold 18 different kinds of tea and some teaware, some cups, and spoons. I am doing a video about that just to take you guys through the whole process so you can see what that's like. I did shoot the design video just before recording this, so that's ready to go. I'll probably post that sometime this week. I'm at the stage right now. I've got the stock selected and I'm ready to rough mill that. I've got here's some of the stock right here, a little bit of maple for the interior, and then the box itself is going to be made out of walnut. So I have that sitting over there on my table saw. That way it's ready to be milled up. I already got it all laid out. I got my pieces laid out on there, and I'm ready to cut it up and make some stuff out of it. So that'll be a fun project. I think it'll go pretty quickly. It's just a simple dovetailed box with a lid and a couple drawers. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I encourage you to subscribe and keep up with me and all that's going on here in my shop. Also, I always put links to the previous video and next week's video up here at the top at the very end, so you can quickly go back and forth through all my videos. And the subscribe button is right up top or down below this video. So that's all for this week. Thanks as always for watching. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please leave me a comment. I always appreciate those. So thanks again, and as always, happy woodworking.